So my name is Valerie McCormick, and I am a mom of 4 children, 2 living. My daughter will be 20 next month, or September 5th, and then my son, who is 16, he'll be 17 August 16th. I am currently a full-time volunteer in my community and also a full-time college student at Skagit Valley College, pursuing a degree in human services. And yeah. I have been in recovery since 2008, so 10 years. I believe that it really started as from childhood. I just always felt unloved, and I felt like I didn't belong. And so as a child, I was always told to, like, I didn't show my emotions. Like, we were told to just like be tough and tough it out. And I as the years grew on, I faced some things in life, and I was afraid, I guess, to show my emotion, and so I stuffed it. I started experiencing with alcohol at a young age, and I was in a really, very abusive relationship, and I just, it was the feeling of not showing my emotion. And when I really had seen the problem, and others started seeing a problem, is shortly after my daughter passed away and my son, I had my daughter was diagnosed with cancer on her 7th birthday, and 31 days later, my infant son of 5 months old passed away. And months after that, my daughter passed away. So it was about a 1 year span where both children passed away. And it left me in a really, really dark place. I had no, I didn't want to live. The pain was so bad. And I was really depressed. And I just, I started drinking. I started drinking because that's what I knew. And if we had problems, that's what we did. I was all around it all the time. We drank to our problems. And so I started drinking, and it was like every weekend, then it was like during the week. And then I started experiencing it with cocaine and meth, and that it lasted probably about, the drinking lasted for a lot longer, but the meth and cocaine and that other stuff probably about 2 years. And I mean, I didn't even know who I was. I was so lost in that. It was a time where I had actually broken my knee, and I was left in a wheelchair for a full year without having to. I had a lot of thinking to do, and I ended up going to church and meeting a gal who was just so welcoming, and she didn't judge me, and I felt so comfortable with her, and she shared that she was a recovering heroin addict, and it was like I was just like meant to like meet her, and just listening to her and knowing that there was a life outside of the life I was living. And I just started to really feel like, I could have a different life too, but it had to be my choice. And so all that time sitting there and listening to, just different like podcasts, and just different reading different Bible verses, and just really doing some work within myself to know that the scary part for me was that I didn't have a choice in the way that my children were, diagnosed with cancer and passed away, or my son just passed away suddenly. They were taken from me. And the 2 children that I had remaining, I had a choice whether they were going to be taken from me by the state, because I obviously was in a place not to care for them for my addiction, or I can become clean and get the help that I needed. And so that was a turning point for me, that my kids meant a lot to me, and I needed to do what I had to do. No, I honestly, I didn't. And I think that was like the fear of like, I, all I knew was that, like, I didn't, and everybody that I was around, and the family, like, I didn't see anything else. I didn't see how it would be possible. The biggest challenges for me were the fear of being alone. I had so many family members that were addicts, and alcoholism was huge, and I felt like, who would I have left to for support, or, well, that I thought was support, because they weren't supportive, but the fear of being alone and a challenge of like, now what? Now what's my purpose? What am I here? Now what am I going to do? It's like you're a whole new person, but how do you live when you're so used to living that way, and now you have like this new life now that you had to relearn how to live? There was a lot of judgment, a lot of people kind of just seeing you for the choices that you made, and they didn't really see you as a person, and so that was hard, because I think just for so long you always try to like appear to be someone that you're not, and so then when you really are who you are, you feel like you want to be accepted, and so it's like the fear of that rejection, and so just, I guess, just being accepted for who you are, flaws and all, like, not letting the addiction like be your face. Like, that's not who I am. That's just something that I struggled with, but just being seen for who I really was. Watching my children and volunteering. Watching my children, because you know, thinking back, like, I that was one thing that I was so afraid of, like messing up my kids. Like, I didn't want to ruin their life by ruining their life by making bad choices in my own life. Because when I look back on it, growing up as a child, seeing some of the choices that my parents made and what an impact it had on me was something that I always carried with me, and I was so afraid of just messing up my children. On the other hand, on the other side of that, I think that was one thing that I really can look back and say, wow, like, my kids see me go through the worst and they see me come out of it. And for them to see that, I think it's really helped them to see that no matter what they go through, that they can overcome anything with the help of our God that is always with us. And just to see my daughter graduated last year, high honors. Oh my gosh, she's so smart. She's in college with me. We go to college together, and she's in physics and engineering. And my son, he's just a loving, kind young man. And I'm just so proud of them. I'm so proud of them for just who they've become. And I love volunteering. I know how it is being out there, in a community where we don't feel welcomed and we're judged. And so I love to volunteer. I have compassion for others, and it brings me so much joy. And it's been healing for my own life to go out and volunteer and serve others. My son was kind of younger. He kind of doesn't know too much, but my daughter, yeah, she says, she just says that I turned into somebody who cared too much, maybe a little bit. She's like, maybe it's a little too much, but it's not a bad thing. She's, I'm so overprotective, is what she says. And so, she just says that I'm a caring person, that I just love people. And she's like, Mom, you're a little overprotective and you care too much, but it's okay. It's not a bad thing. And so, yeah, they have so much good things to say about me, and they're always showing me so much love. And I take my kids with me to go volunteer and to go serve. We go down to the Ronald McDonald House as a family, and we serve and hang out with the children fighting cancer. And they say that I'm a really, they said that I'm the best mom ever. That I'm just that made, they just say I'm the best mom ever, and they're just like, "Mom, you're the coolest mom." I decided to share my story because I believe that there's so many, like I was myself, that was scared of like coming out and sharing who we were. And I know there's a lot of stigma and shame, and people judge us by our mistakes and our choices. And I wanted to share my story because I want people to know, like, there's hope for you. Like, I didn't think this was possible, and I want to share my story because I want to bring others hope that no matter what we go through, that we could change our life, that we have the power to flip the script in our life. Like, our life does not have to be our addiction and our choices. We have the power to change that. And I just want to bring hope to others that no matter what we face in life, that we can change it. Well, I think that they've got it all wrong because I feel that you have to be really educated, if not be someone who is in recovery or dealing with that issue to really understand. And I just think that it's sad that so many people will assume and fear the addict or the one in recovery that we are somebody bad or that we have this disease that's going to like destroy them, because at the end of the day, all we need is support and just have some compassion. We are an individual just like the other person. We just have some challenges, and we just need some support to get through it rather than judgment. Just show some compassion. I've got so many goals and plans, and I just graduated this June with my high school diploma. I was a seventh grade dropout, and so being in college after 25 years, and I have 1 year to go to graduate with my human services degree. I plan to transfer down to Fairhaven, eventually on to get my master's. And I want to start my own nonprofit organization one day. I really want to be out there helping others that are in the same struggle. I know the support, how much it meant for me, and I really want to be able to give that back, and in my community to help others that are in that same struggle. And so yeah, I mean, I just, the sky's the limit. I have so much to live for.